Summit Autocross Week, the first ever autocross and drive event. We were there, we did it, got the hat to prove it. 2022 participant, Summit Racing Autocross Week, SRAW, VIR. No, it was not at VIR, that stands for Very Important Racing. We're gonna tell you all about it.
Hi, my name is Pete Brushy. I'm from Mooresville, North Carolina. This is my daily driven 2015 EcoBoost Mustang. We do about 30 autocrosses a year.
My eyes are on the yellow four-cylinder Mustang, the EcoBoost situation. Well, I've seen this guy run. He kills it. I got to meet him at the Hot Rod Power Tour Autocross. He's got some SCCA stickers on there.
5 horsepower per sticker.
I'm telling you, he's going to use all of those ponies to propel him up that wall through the last couple of slalom, and let's see what he gets. A very impressive 32.7 from the four-cylinder. Was a little hairy with the corner worker out there, but
You don't want to be a one-person crowd near a Mustang. This little four-cylinder puts out more horsepower than the original Corvette 327. So wait, what? A four-cylinder puts out more horsepower than a 327? Don't make no sense to me. You got to give that thing credit. Gets 30 miles per gallon and puts out some decent horsepower. We are in a golden age of technology and horsepower. I think great time to be alive.
great time to be alive. But let me tell you something. So right now, a four-cylinder going faster than some of these V8s. Is it the car? Is it the driver?
Is it a combination of the two?
Yeah! Yes! Yes!
EcoBoost.
Twice again. Right now, I'm having thoughts. Here's the bad news, guys. They're behind with 700, 800 horsepower. They're behind the four-cylinder Mustang. How about that? But 63, listen.
By a second.
We ran a 64 in the Camaro with 8 cylinders. He's got 4. Typically, a low horsepower vehicle has an advantage on a small course. But let me tell you what's impressing me right now with that yellow Mustang. This is not a small course. This is very similar to a road course, and he's coming in with these times within really fast guys. Actually, like I said, we drove in the Camaro. It ran a 64, and he runs a 63. Guys, it's not just the horsepower, it's the driver knowing they want more horsepower for this particular situation. But I'm just now getting proven wrong. He's got probably 300 horsepower in that thing.
Now this is pod racing.
I was so lucky to be able to participate. My sponsor, Function Factory Performance, covered the $500 entry fee. So big thanks to Charles and Function Factory for doing that for me. Also want to say a personal thanks to Summit, UMI Suspension, and Hawk Performance Brakes. Can't put these events on without the sponsors. Couldn't have done it without the help of my co-pilot, David Hoff.
Hoff, you alive?
Mm-hmm. A few moments later.
No drink either, huh?
No drink. Them tears.
Tears of joy.
Tears of joy.
The next day.
Autocross Week was about a 2,000-mile round trip for me. The race and drive, going site to site, that's a really fun way to see the country, kind of form a community between you and the people who are racing. There were times where we stopped and we helped people who broke down, or you would run into somebody at a gas station who, yeah, they had their numbers on, you knew that they were competing with you. But it was so much fun to make those connections, and you know, we're kind of all in this together on this big, long, happy trip. And the fact that you're racing every day for 4 days straight at different sites, it was really a unique challenge that I haven't seen any other autocross style event do. Really interesting turnout of cars. You couldn't trailer your car between events, and you couldn't change tires, had to stay on your competition tires. So that's kind of encouraging people to maybe run more conservative street alignments, save their car day to day, be conscious of how hard they're beating on the car, and kind of limiting what can come out, because you are having to drive your car from stop to stop. Overall, there were about 50 cars, and we did manage to crack the top 15. We came in 14th out of 50. So that was really impressive to do that, to get around some of the bigger builds. You know, my four-cylinder Mustang's on a stock tune. It's really amazing that it does as well as it does. But, you know, you look at the leaderboard, I was among the fastest times right out of the gate. So if it was a one and done, you know, I probably would have had a top 5 finish. I guess that's just all the autocrossing that I do. I'm so accustomed to reading cones, and then it's so much harder for me. I run a fast time out of the gate, and then I'm working at it. I'm trying so hard to find tenths, and then other people are finding, you know, 2, 3, 4 seconds or 1 second or even half a second, where I'm to the point where I understand what my car is going to do. It's just harder for me to eke out times because I'm already so close to the limit. So what I really liked about Autocross Week was the diverse facilities that we had to race on. UMI Motorsports Park obviously hosts the King of the Mountain, and that was a big reason why I wanted to go there this year. I wanted to see UMI, kind of get a lay of the land, because I do see I would like to participate, get an invite into King of the Mountain someday.
Oh, you gotta be quicker than that.
UMI, it was a technical autocross course. We tend to, my gearing in my car is pretty aggressive, and we tend to do better on the shorter autocrosses. And then Pitt Race was more of your traditional parking lot style autocross. It's what I would call a premium SCCA autocross site. Maybe if it was a little bigger and better laid out, it would make for a very good national tour site. Pitt Race, kind of the sea of cones, and some people did struggle with Pitt Race if they hadn't done a lot of SCCA style autocrosses and reading the cones. So we shined there as well. And then Dragway 42 was probably the most fun autocross site I've ever been on. It's access roads to the Dragway that we autocross on. So the course was over a mile long and super fast. It was not so much the sea of cones. It was very clearly laid out. These access roads had grass on either side, and it almost felt more like driving a track cross or a road course. It was really fun. I didn't think I was going to do as well as I did out there. It was just such a wide open course, but the gearing on the car still felt good. I felt like I had enough room to go to third in a lot of places, so I think it really helped out. Each day we got about 8 runs. I felt like that was a fair number of, you should have got it by then. Some people didn't take all their runs. They packed up, they were happy with their morning runs. They didn't feel like they would improve, didn't want to risk the reliability of their cars, or they just wanted to get ahead, do some driving, do some sightseeing.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
Alright, cool. We saw a deer though. God damn.
Take care, buddy. Thank you. See ya.
Overall, the event was run so well. It was so fun to have the camera coverage and the live stream, even though it was a little bit choppy at places, and that might have just been the internet signal at the sites. We might not have been getting some good cell service. But it was really fun to have the announcer dynamic and 3G video being there, covering each day. Really feel like that you were a part of something big. Hyde from Summit had put together their Midwest Drag Week, and that's been a successful event. But I definitely had my, wondering of how would some drag racers organize an autocross? Well, they went to the right people. They found Akron Sports Car Club that was in the area. Several members of their club traveled with us and designed the autocross courses, set everything up. We used their equipment, so there was no question once I saw Akron Sports Car Club was involved with this. They're a pretty big name. I knew that we were in really good hands. One of my main critiques of Autocross Week is maybe we do better to include some of the lesser built street class cars in some capacity. Maybe not take the rules so drastically down to street class, but maybe a street touring bolt-on rule set. The classes were more of the pro touring unlimited mindset, street car 200 treadwear tires. So of course I had my street class 2015 EcoBoost Mustang. My car qualified for a couple of different classes. I could have run the sport class, but I realized when I got there it was entirely Corvettes. And my car's heavy and it's down on power compared to the C5 Corvettes and newer. So I kind of felt like, well, let's try the boosted class. There were fewer cars in the class. Figured, maybe we had a shot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
So I kind of wish that, maybe this was a little more inclusive. Maybe, and this was the first year that they did it too. There were a couple of classes that just kind of felt unbalanced. So maybe we shift the balance of the classes, add one more class to accommodate more of the street touring builds. You know, there were some growing pains with it. They had to reprint some maps. There was some false information on the map.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
I think what they really need to do, though, is have like a mass texting system so that if anything does need to change, like we had stops that we had to go to get our pictures taken in front of the sponsor headquarters. Like we got a picture in front of Hawk Performance, we got a picture in front of Summit. Like we had to stop there and prove that we were there with a picture, but the addresses were incorrect. So I think a mass texting system would be a really good way to keep in touch with everybody and make sure everybody's on the same page. And if something does have to change on the fly, SCCA uses the text system.
It works. It just works.
So Autocross Week is already on the books for June 5th through 9th. Make sure you're following the Autocross Week page. Keep an eye on the website. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and maybe we'll see you next year at Autocross Week.